What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ and we are with the 2023 Hyundai Tucson, and this is the limited all-wheel drive hybrid. So without further ado, you guys kind of know the drill. We are going to start with the exterior, go to the interior, and then we're going to take it on a drive. This is the full review. The next video is going to be 5 things to love and 5 things to improve. Let's roll. Starting right up front, you're going to notice all LED headlamps. You have this pretty unique and cool design. As soon as you're driving down the road, obviously you notice this is different right off the bat. It makes it unique and easy to spot. It looks good. Underneath the hood is a inline 4-cylinder pushing around 226 horsepower. Of course, it is also hybrid, as already mentioned. Working our way around the side here, you're going to notice there is the black plastic for the trim molding. Coming on back, you're going to notice on the mirror there is a camera right there, which is for the 360 camera, and the camera quality is really good, but we will go over that on the interior. You do have some unique design and angles and stuff to the door, which does give it some character. Also looks pretty nice. Looking at the wheels, they are pretty sharp looking in my opinion, and they are basically like a gunmetal gray with like a machine aluminum type of look, and they're a 235/55 R19. Keep working our way back. You do have like an aluminum look here. That looks good as well. And then really clean in the back. The wiper is tucked so far up there you literally cannot even see it from here, which is nice. The button is down here, not right there by the camera. It's all the way down here in order to pop the rear hatch. So you simply just press it. Up it's going to go. And checking in here, you do have a good amount of space. I have tested it. You can fit 1 golf bag this direction. It fits perfectly. I mean, perfectly. That is a stand bag. I don't know if a cart bag would be any different, but in case you guys are wondering, yes, it does fit. That is super nice. Over here, you do have a outlet, 12 volt. And then if you want to fold the seats down, you can, of course, just pull the little latch, and as you can see, I've already done it to the other side for you guys, and it pops right down, and they actually click flat down, so you will have to walk around and physically click it down unless you have something just to set on there and pop it down. As the rear hatch is closing right here, you're going to notice on the driver's side that is where the fuel door is located, and it does have a 13.7 gallon tank. Your MPG is 37 city and 36 highway. Combined average, you do the math, around 36 and a half. Nonetheless, I just took it on like a 60-mile trip, and in my 60-mile trip I averaged personally 37.2. My average speed was probably right around 76 miles an hour, 75, somewhere in there, as the speed limit is literally 75, so plus or minus 1 mile an hour. Checking the door handles very quickly before we step inside, you're going to notice on the rear there is no keyless entry. It is on the front, and boy is it subtle. I'm going to try to show. You can see the spot right there. Blends in nice, which is a clean look, but upon first glance you actually don't even notice that it has it, so it's a good and a bad, I guess. In order to unlock, obviously just on the inside, you just press and it'll pop open. Stepping into the rear seat, let's see if it is easy or not to get in. So stepping in here, that was really easy, honestly. Like, that was actually nice. Has just over 8 inches of ground clearance on this vehicle. Now that we are in the back seat, over here on the door, you're going to notice your window switch, and of course a 2-step heated seat, which is certainly not needed today here in Arizona. It is like almost 100 degrees, like 95 or something. It's hot in May. You do have 2 vents right down here, and you have USB ports down there. It is surprising they're not in the seat, because that is usually a thing on the side of the seats for this brand, but nonetheless they're down here. To me, it doesn't matter where they're at as long as they're there, which is good. Checking up above us, you do have a panoramic roof, and for the sake of, again, it is really hot. I do not have it open, but nonetheless, it is there, and it looks really good. And just take a second to look at this interior. Like, look at that seat. Wow. I mean, it looks really good. On camera, it probably looks white. It's a very light gray, which is nice, easier to keep clean, and it looks amazing. Back over to the door panel, you are gonna see this is kind of soft touch. It's not very soft. This is certainly much softer, which is good because your elbow would obviously touch it. This is leather, and then here, this is actually like a cloth. Like, I don't know. That's strange. And a limited, I don't know if I would have selected that, because generally you want leather and wood and different stuff like that whenever you have a top trim. So that's kind of strange to have, but nonetheless, it is soft touch. Moving up, hard touch. Piano black, hard touch, and up here it is just a hair softer, but not like really soft. Now we need to test the front seat. Let's check this out. So stepping in. Yep, really natural. I'm 5'9". I probably haven't mentioned that. Plenty of leg room in the back, plenty of headroom. My seat was exactly where it's at now. Okay, and hopefully the AC is not bothering the volume too much for you guys to hear. I do have a very fancy big mic on this, but nonetheless, it again it's reading 100 degrees right now. I think it's like actually 95. It's still coming down just a little bit, but it's hot. Okay, so looking over at the door right here, you're gonna notice we've got all of our window switches. Pretty basic, to be honest. Nothing fancy about those, but I wouldn't expect it. You've got your lock, unlock, and all of your mirror function there. And then it does have memory seating. It's actually a pretty unique spot. All the way up there, you have 2 settings for memory seats. You've got your 12-volt battery reset here, traction control, and you hold the button for the rear hatch. And of course, your instrument cluster display and your lights on the interior to change the brightness. Now, looking at the steering wheel here on the left-hand side, you're going to see your mode and all of your selector, volume, all of your media content. Over on the right is all of your cruise control, and then obviously your menu for up in front of you. Right here you have lane centering. It works really well. You guys know that I am always bragging on Kia and Hyundai for their lane centering. They do an amazing job. Adaptive cruise control is on this as well. Your stocks have like a piano black. I think they look really good. Little texture on the ends, which are nice as well. Out in front of us, we do have a nice digital instrument cluster. It looks really good. I mean, sharp, clean, bright, no matter what the brightness is where the sun's hitting it. It's great, because I believe the screen is even like non-reflective or some special screen. And I believe that because I have never not been able to see it, which is good. Up in front of us, we do not have heads-up display. That is not an option on this vehicle. Unfortunately, maybe in the future, but nonetheless, not on this one. Over on the mirror, hopefully you can see it there, there is blind spot monitoring. Coming over to the center, you have a beautifully done center screen here, and as you can see, it's used as a split screen. I love that ability to have the map and your music information, and I love that it's finally horizontal and not vertical like many manufacturers. This actually looks clean. It's more functional to me. I love this screen, and it's very responsive as well, which is great. On down, all of your buttons, obviously there are buttons but no knobs. I do wish there was a volume knob and a seek knob, because when you're sitting here touching back and forth, I don't know, I mean, it's okay, but I get it, it looks clean. For the functionality, I do wish it had some knobs. Same thing for your dual zone climate. I wish we had some knobs. Touching up and down gets a little bit old, and honestly, for me, I guess I'm always using the steering wheel just because it's kind of a pain in the butt for this going back and forth. It works fine, like it's very responsive. Like as soon as you touch it, like you can see it pop up, but it's just like, do you want to sit there and hold it? Do you want to sit here and just touch it over and over? I don't know. I like a knob. Nonetheless, not a big deal. It's a very, very nitpick, but it's there. Coming on down, you do have a wireless phone charger right there. It is unique. It's actually like at an angle, so you're going to see my phone just sit there popping up charging. And then you got some different USBs and 12 volt back there. You will notice you've got cooled seats, heated steering wheel, obviously hill descent control. You have your different drive modes, you have your locker. For drive mode, you're going to notice if I click it right there, you've got Sport, Smart, Snow, and Eco. I honestly drive it in Eco 95% of the time, unless I need to really get out in front of somebody. Coming back over, reverse, neutral, drive, park. Pretty straightforward, easy to click, no problems. We will put it in reverse here, and there's your camera view. Crystal clear again. I absolutely love the cameras on this. Of course, you've got 2 cup holders, and you can see a smart water bottle. Fits pretty nicely. It's not too snug. You go a little bit wider if you wanted, but it doesn't rattle while you drive, which is great. Center console, decent amount of room, not massive, but also not small. And this vehicle is coming in right at pretty much $40,000. It's like 39 and some change, basically $40,000. And so far, this thing is off to a great start. I mean, look-wise, all the features and amenities, I think it's really good. But we, of course, we need to get it onto the road. But before we do, I gotta roll the cinematic. 3, 2, 1, boom! If you guys are subscribed, you've probably already have seen the 0 to 60 on this vehicle. It is right around 7.2-ish seconds, give or take conditions, elevation. You guys know the drill. There's many things that it goes into, but I mean, it's got some pep in its step. Actually, this is one vehicle that, after driving it for a few days now, like I don't wish there was more, considering the gas mileage. Like, here we go, floor it. Like, yeah, it's very respectable. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, again, you're getting like roughly 37 miles to the gallon. It's all-wheel drive. I'm always beating that to death because you guys love to say it's not good gas mileage, but when you're talking all-wheel drive, that's great. The other thing that I've noticed over the last 4 or 5 days in this vehicle is it has really good soundproofing. Like, it's quiet. And it does have the 6-speed transmission, if I have not said that already. So if you're wanting a vehicle that doesn't have a CVT, this might be a good option to look at because it does not have that yet. So, you know, something to go check out. Now, I was going off on a little tangent there, but with the 6-speed, it's still quiet. Like, even the shifting, like, it's also smooth. Like, the only time you can even feel the shifts is obviously whenever you're accelerating hard. But other than that, it's still smooth. It's just you can feel it. It's not like buttery smooth. And whenever it's under normal shifting, along with shifting and switching in between of, you know, EV and combustion, it's also smooth. Like, you don't really notice the difference. I notice my needle in front of me changing more than I do the actual car feeling. So take that for what it's worth, but it is pretty good. Now, as far as blind spots go, checking over to my left, the pillar is a little more narrow than some vehicles, which is good. Straight out in front, obviously not a problem. Checking over to the right, again, really good windows. Now, the body of this vehicle, like the bottom of the windows, kind of angles upwards. So kind of keep that in mind. It's not a big deal. I can still see really good out of the windows. It's just, if there was like maybe a really low sports car or something, you might have a little bit of a spot there, but nothing that, you know, you wouldn't get used to, slash it has blind spot monitoring on top of everything. As far as the drive modes go, yes, they certainly make a difference. I mean, even going down through them, as soon as you go to sport, everything stiffens up with the steering wheel. The throttle response, it's holding gears, like it is very responsive. It's a good job. Smart, of course, is smart. It does what you think it needs to, slash you can go in, customize stuff, do whatever you need to do. Going down to snow, I don't have any snow to test it, so you know what? Can't speak if that's great or not, but I can't imagine it's bad. But I really do. I find myself majority of the time just in eco. I mean, because even in eco, as long as you put your foot to the floor, if you really need to go, obviously it's gonna go. So, and I find plenty of pep. Like, I don't like, in some other vehicles when I'm in eco, like even just pulling out normally, like I honestly feel a little bit like I'm a hazard to society because it's too slow. And this isn't. Like, it really does have a good medium point to where I feel like obviously it's getting good gas mileage and it's getting out there at an appropriate, you know, speed. Touching on comfort for the seats are really comfortable. They're actually like a really soft touch. I mean, like, the cushions are a little on the firm side. They're not real cushy, but the texture is really soft, so that's a good thing. Checking body roll here, coming into it in eco, even not even in sport, not much. I mean, for just over 8 inches of ground clearance, that's not a lot of body roll. This vehicle comes in at just over 15 feet in overall length, in case you guys were wondering. So it is obviously a little bit shorter for an SUV. My key takeaways while driving this vehicle for sure over the last 4 to 5 days, trying to summarize for you guys, is there's good amount of room in this vehicle for 4 people. Very comfortable. You could fit 4 suitcases comfortably in the back as well if you're going like a weekend trip. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it has all of the amenities you would want while driving except for heads-up display, but not a big deal, of course. Hopefully we'll get that in a future model, but having the lane centering, it does really well. I cannot stress that enough. It really does. Heated seats, cooled seats, especially the cooled seats here in Arizona. What a lifesaver. Very nice for a little trip. Like I said, I took it on like a 60-some mile trip. It was great. If you're looking for a good family SUV that you can use year-round, especially if you're up north or somewhere where it snows, this is probably a really solid option. And I will say that I do notice that this is a little bit quieter than the Kia version, which may not be of surprise to some of you. The Hyundai is generally a few $1,000s more than the Kia version, so there is reason. It's not just a badge. It is a little bit quieter for sure. I'm happy with it. So if you're looking for something, again, that is quieter, comfortable for your family, being able to use daily practically, like, this is a great option, especially for $40,000. Well, I know $40,000 is obviously not cheap in the segment. It's very competitive, it's very respectable, and I actually really enjoy this vehicle. So much so that I'm looking at one myself. Maybe next year's model if we get heads-up display. Or maybe I'll just switch over to the Sonata because the Sonata does have heads-up display. Alright, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If there's anything you guys want to know or I left out, please comment down below. And if you enjoy my style or you guys like supercar content, because I do own one of those as well, be sure to subscribe. As always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace!